Everyone to this World Press Conference, which heralds a one-year-long activities set to mark the 75th anniversary of this global financial institution. Today we gather to announce a remarkable milestone in the transformation journey of United Bank for Africa, our 75th anniversary. This anniversary is very dear to us here in UBA, as it not only marks our legacy, but signifies our transformation journey from being British and French bank established in 1949 to becoming the leading financial services institution in Africa, tagged Africa's Global Bank. UBA today operates across 4 continents with presence in 20 African countries: United States of America, United Kingdom, France, and the United Arab Emirates. And over the past 75 years, we have exemplified stability, reliability, and excellence in banking, achieving numerous milestones, some of which you will listen to today, and positively impacting the communities that we serve. Our commitment to exceptional customer experience, as well as our financial strength and resilience over the years, has been key to our success. Our robust performance, especially over the last couple of years, underscores our sound strategies and commitment to operational excellence. I am sure for everyone in this room that you agree that UBA remains an attractive investment as it continues to deliver exceptional value to our shareholders. At UBA, innovation and digital transformation are at the heart of what we do, and our future growth as we remain committed to enhancing the experience of our customers across all touch points, while solidifying our position as Africa's global bank.
As we honor the past leaders of UBA, we also commend our present and look forward to future leaders who will continue to raise the bar of banking in Africa and globally. To this end, permit me to also celebrate our current executives and board members that are working tirelessly across 24 countries, pushing the frontiers of UBA in various geographies. I would like to commend the board chairman, Mr. Tony Elumelu, CFR, the MD CEOs of various subsidiary banks of UBA, the board members of UBA, the members of the Executive Management Committee at the subsidiary level and also at the group level, all staff of UBA in all subsidiaries around the world. Without your sacrifices, contributions, support, and guidance over the years, we will not be where we are today. We appreciate and honor you because you built and nurtured this platform on which we stand today. Our group chairman, Mr. Tony Elumelu, CFR, truly deserves special recognition and mention. Without his visionary push in 2005 and the tutelage over the years, I doubt whether we'll be where we are today. For these and more, we say a big and resounding thank you to him.
Over 75 journalists are here this afternoon from various parts of the continent. I want to appreciate you all.
Infrastructure gap, funding gap in Africa. And I can tell you it's a lot. From agriculture to roads to ports to telecoms, power is a lot. The infrastructure gap in Africa is a lot. But that lies the opportunity that we have in Africa. So UBA strategy has been in countries where we are present, we support the key sectors that are driving the economy of those countries. Yes, in some of the countries, we have done a lot in terms of road infrastructure support, ports, building of ports, and improving the capacity of ports to take in goods. In some of the countries, we've even done as much as dealing with stadia. In some of the countries, yes, some of the stadia where the matches of AFCON was played, we actually supported by UBA. In some, we have built their capacity for revenue generation in terms of technology to ensure that the governments have enough funding to support the business of the day. So our support to African economies is across sectors, depending on what is the critical sector that's driving those economies. Today, we are supporting mining in several countries in Africa. We are supporting cotton, we are supporting cocoa, we are supporting cashew in several countries, depending on what the country is built on. So we are committed to developing Africa. We are committed to supporting the key sectors that are pushing African economies wide. And it's showing even in our performances, even in our businesses. If you look at our accounts, when Tolani mentioned about our performance, you will see that our performance has continued to improve, reflecting clearly the work we are doing. Today, the deposit position of UBA is about 18 trillion. Today, our shareholders funding is 2 trillion. Today, you will see that our customer base is moving up to 45 million customers across Africa. And these are growing on a daily basis based on the businesses. And we don't just support these businesses, we support all the value chain that are tied to these businesses, so that the SME business will continue to thrive. Because we recognize, like my colleague said earlier, SME is the future of Africa.
The NPL ratio rose to 5.8% in 2023. But that was largely as a result of the fact that we saw some weaknesses in some of the credits in the portfolio, and we had to do the responsible thing of actually classifying them as such. The good news is that the collateral level for those loans is quite high, and we are currently in the process of realizing them, and that we should see the NPL ratio coming well below the 5% threshold. But 5.8% relative to a number of peers still remains one of the lowest around the industry. In quarter one, OPEX was said to be one of the highest in the industry, and I think that is largely related to the inflation rates we've seen across jurisdictions, and there is a relativity when you look at operating expenses. It has to be related to the scale of the business. You cannot, for instance, compare the size, absolute size of operating expenses of UBA to the absolute size of operating expenses of another operation that's probably about half in terms of scale and size. But what is important is that you compare the revenues as well, and the net returns from all of those. And I think on that point, UBA is very reasonably comparable to relevant peers.
Conversations with AFCFTA. I'm sure you know what AFTA is, which is to unite the entire Africa to grow and develop it. And we looked at a few things that we could do to support intra-African trade and businesses across Africa. I'm sure you agree with me, SMEs represent the engine for development and growth in Africa. Now, we identified 4 sectors that are largely import dependent. 1, automotive industry, pharmaceutical, logistics, as well as transport businesses. They rely a lot more on imports. And we worked with AFCFTA after a thorough research to say, how do we substitute the imports, right? For Africans to be able to develop, produce and manufacture those items locally, and also trading between itself. Like my GMD mentioned, trade, intra-African trade today is less than 15%. In Europe is 60%. In America is over 75%. and we stepped out to give a commitment of $6 billion to be disbursed to SMEs to improve their capacity to substitute the importation of these items in these 4 sectors. Now you ask, where is the deposit coming from? Now, this UBA today has more than enough deposit to fund this, right? As part of our SME business strategy. And this is not just only to Nigeria, it's across the 20 countries where we operate in the first phase and then moving to non-present countries in the second phase. So we're going to fund it largely from our deposits, that's on the one side. It has nothing to do with recapitalization. It's about the business that we do. And SME being an important area of our business is a key focus for us to grow and impact lives and businesses in Africa.
Today, what UBA has done in terms of technology is to empower customers on self-service. We have over 20 of our services on self-service, and on terms of our technology too, you agree with me that UBA stability and stability and also customers knowing what to use at the right time is one of our core deliverable in UBA. So what we have done across Africa is to ensure that we have that technology that connects one country to another. You can, with UBA technology, you can transfer money from Togo to Ghana, from Ghana to Kenya, without not coming into the banking hall. So we have done that with technology. And in terms of fraud too, one of the things we have also done is that as we empower customers, we also show that we have that underlying technology that will prevent customers from losing funds. Today, UBA is a safe haven for customers' funds. Thank you.
I also just want to mention a few stats about UBA, because sometimes when you get on the high table, it's not a full representation of where we are from a gender inclusion. Because someone asked a question about inclusivity that was very important, and it wasn't just disability. I think it's also about our staff as well. So in UBA, 50% of our group board is female. So I think that deserves a round of applause. As the chairman, as the group managing director was speaking, the first female chairperson, it's just now that we start to recognize women in leadership. But UBA was the first bank to have the first female chairperson as in their group board. So I think that's something strong. And another great thing is 33% of our CEOs in the 20 African countries are women, which also speaks to the value that we place on gender inclusivity. And also someone mentioned something about the Braille. We've launched that, we're pushing it into Africa. So that's another agenda that UBA is taking quite strongly, ensuring that even with a disability, you can bank, you can be financially empowered, which is really very important to us. So